Hello, I'm Smart African. You and every other anonymous audience member of this video clicked on it because you were curious about a server that almost no one in the Minecraft Vanilla Anarchy community knows about due to some unfortunate events. Luckily, I have proof and good memory of what happened to this one server with astounding potential to be something bigger. Did you actually know this server is one of the few Vanilla Anarchy servers that has existed before 2019? Most of the other ones started from 2019 and later on. That's right. This server was launched in November 4th, 2018 after originally going through a 1.12.2 testing phase. The version it started on was 1.13.2. All of the owners of the server in order from 2018 to 2024, the present year this video was recorded, are Vanex, Solarwolf, Cheddar, and finally Cookie, aka Sad Girly. Keep that in mind. Each owner had an influence on this server. Vanex was the first owner and had experience operating a Minecraft server before this. He set out to publish 2 videos to advertise the server and also advertised a lot on Reddit to get enough players to join the server and eventually donate to keep it running. It was a mere $30 a month to host the server on MelonCube, which is a Minecraft hosting server company. The server truly grown from November 4th, 2018 to August 2019. The first problem was updating to 1.14 when it was a bad time to be playing on Minecraft Vanilla Anarchy servers. And I would say 1.13 was also a horrible update to even update to. The first major problem didn't even happen a year later. Guess what happened in August 2019? I'll give you a couple seconds and then we'll continue. Alright, you got your answer? Well, you don't have to type it out. I'll tell you. Because I know this and I had experience. Alright, and also, hold on 1 second. Alright. I don't want to make sure Discord keeps pinging. We're all set. Alright. So, here's what happened. Vanex encountered a problem that he didn't prepare for when he first started the idea of this server, the storage size. Yes, all server owners, when they first start out making their servers, they have to keep a checklist of everything they need in order for the server to succeed and not fail. Of course, there's no guarantee that it will succeed, but to make sure that they don't fall into the trap of neglecting the server and the server running out of funds, they need to do certain things for it to survive. I won't go over how, but one aspect of it is the storage. As long as you have a decent amount of storage for a server, your server will thrive for a super long time. Just, you have to keep upgrading the storage. You cannot stop at just 1 terabyte and expect the server size to never go up to that level. That's not how it works. So it is depressing and honestly tragic that the hosting service called MelonCube locked away the true potential and security that Vanex all ever wanted. Vanex isn't the enemy. The other owners weren't the enemy. The true enemy was MelonCube all along for wasting all of their time pretending to secure the server, and they had a biased man-made limit due to their greediness. All they want is money. It's the only thing that keeps them wanting to host these servers. And they say that you're supposed to get infinite storage that's unlimited. Excuse me. However, they obviously lied. Almost every company has done this. They promise you perks, then when you reach that certain perk, they decide to remove it from you and take away your privileges or shut it down. That's what Melon Cube threatened Vanex. Vanex had no other choice. He thought he had to reset the server entirely. So we'll go over that just in a bit. So yeah, the owner, Vanex, he did make a mistake, but I forgive him for that. And yeah, I'm just gonna go on from that. You don't need to hold grudges. This happened in the past. It has nothing to do with real life stuff, but it was sad that it happened in the first place. That's what started the downfall of the server. He realized that players didn't trust him anymore, so he decided to find someone he trusted from the community Discord called SolarWolf. Vanex has moved on from this point. Makes sense. I've seen it from my experience that many players have quit and threatened to never come back, and sadly they still kept it to their standards. They could no longer trust the server and decided to move on to other servers or other games. So this player, SolarWolf, was a random. He joined recently and he decided to accept the offer that Vanex gave to him. And he decided to be the owner for only less than a month. That's what I'm gonna estimate. It was really for a short period of time, and he couldn't handle it, so he gave it to another trusted moderator called Cheddar in mid-October 2019. Cheddar was a trusted friend of Vanex, so he knew how to program and plug in everything. He knew how to make plugins and he knew how to make them work. He tried to run the server, but this wasn't his thing. He only wanted to be the backboard, or what you call it, a backman, whatever it's called. The backbone of society. Well, he's the backbone of the server, the one who fixes all the problems. While the other moderators or admins or some certain owners like Z-Rules or Vanex, they used to operate the server. He would just handle all the technical stuff. They would handle just moderating the players, basically the behavior. But unfortunately, he could not handle doing both. So it was too stressful, which made him give it to another admin. This admin was called Sad Girly, aka Cookie. So the true name is Sad Girly, just go from that. This all happened before the end of November 2019. Yes, that month. This is when it happened. It could be a little off, but this is really in the same time period, so we just have to go on from it. And yes, I do have empathy for a cool individual like Cheddar. Still do. I won't say anything bad about him. He's a good person. Sad Girly was new, but she had experience as an admin, so she knew how to operate the server. It's not hard to be an owner. Really, it isn't. Or an admin. It just takes like maybe a couple of days and then you're all set. She definitely made sure that the server was running. For me, yes, I was on that server during the time. I, of course, when the server used to accept donations, I used to ask people to give donations. Some refused, some gave a little bit wherever they could. This all happened before COVID, so it was a good time for the server to start 2 years early, before all that happened. I pitched over $100. Now the exact amount, I don't really remember, but it was close to $120. This all happened in 2020, of course, after I had a job. This was all to keep the server running, even though a few players warned me not to donate to the server. Of course, at the time, I was young. I didn't understand the consequences of donating something to a useless cause that would never improve. It took me years to understand it. So for those players that told me not to donate, thank you, you are correct. So at the time I was furious. I was like, I want the server to survive. I don't want it to get shut down. So of course I'm gonna pitch in some money. But little did I know, in the near future, it proved me that these people were right. Just like I said. I experienced the server population decline after October 2019. So yeah, there was some sort of decline, but surely somewhere in late October 2019, server declined. People lost interest in the server. Really depressing to hear about this and to experience it too. It's not often that I get to be part of a server that used to be popular and it basically declines. So during that time, November 2019 to January 2020, the worst time period for the server. Not like now. No. Back then it was a big deal, even for someone like me. It was less than 5 players that would log on daily from November 9, 2019 to January 2020. Excuse me for making mistakes. Just deal with it. I felt alone all this time and didn't know what to expect for the future of this server. If you were there when the server still had decent people, unlike now where it's barely active, it's completely understandable. I really didn't know how the server would go in the future, but I still had hope. I still had hope that it would revive, because we had the nether roof, and that was actually a big deal. Not many servers have this feature enabled. I definitely, I'm a YouTuber. I made some videos in the past on the server, mainly from May to summer of 2020, which I now deleted except for a few I restored. If you want to check that out, go to the VanillaX.Online Discord. There'll be in the link in the description. I really don't regret doing this now because the server officially died. And to me, in my opinion, and my point of view, the server has died basically, not even 2022, it died in 2021. People will disagree, it's okay. I don't consider a server active and alive unless it reaches 20 players every day. That's the minimum threshold. Once it's below 20, slowly it dies. You cannot have a stable server that's public, not an SMP, not a famous YouTuber server, just a public one. It will eventually die. 15 is not a strong amount. I'll say even 20 is not, but it's at least a start. You have potential. 20 people trust you and play on your server. That's good. If you want to know about Simply Vanilla, it has between 50 to 60 daily. That's over double. Almost, basically it's triple at this point. If you start from that, 50, 60, your server is going to be popular. Hopefully you don't have to put a priority queue, but look what happened to Purity Vanilla. That's a sign that your server will not die. That's a good thing. Honestly, I find this very interesting though. I was alone. I didn't know what to expect, but little did I know. Vanex's video and the second video that he had, and he had a third one that was an unlisted video, no one could find it anymore, but that third video didn't matter. It was just the 2 videos that truly allowed the server to still have newer players coming in. There were many players that found out about the server because the YouTube algorithm promoted the server. This was amazing for someone like me, even though I took breaks a lot of the time. So yes, VanillaX.Online slowly revived in 2020 and was back to half the original daily player count of between 20 to 30 to 15 to 20 players online at once. We're not going to include alts, just original players. But thanks to the server hardware, the server could only handle 30 to 40 players before the TPS would drop dramatically from 20 to like 15, 11, and even below that, close to like 5, 7, 9, very, very low. I can still remember the low TPS thanks to the server hardware that they had access to at the time. They didn't change it that much. Even the price of keeping the server up monthly, it was just the same. They never really improved it, except all they did was update it. They still use the same company that screwed them over many times because, wow, let's make a server cheap. We gotta host it on a website, on a server hosting company that most servers, they don't even host on MelonCube. Obviously, there are better ones out there. So yeah, it's something to understand here. So sadly, in the future, I'll say 2022, that's when the server trailer and the second trailer were deleted. Never seen again. That's what slowly, it still added to that problem. Server could not really grow without people being able to easily find it. I remember it had like over 30,000 views. That's a decent amount to grow a server. Slowly like that. Without priority queue, of course. So I made some videos in the past, 2020, around May, and also like in the summer of 2022. So, sorry, not 2022, but 2020. I deleted those videos, in the future. But there's a few that I restored, and I try to make them decent quality. It's not really something you should try to feel sorry for or try to find them. It's impossible to find them. It's okay. Just move on. Server's dead. I'm not even done explaining the rest of the process of why it died. We're almost done though, but there's still a few points I want to make before we get to that last conclusion. So I don't regret deleting those videos because the server to me officially died. Now I still had a stable player base, but to me, I had no vision of a good future of the server, and that sounds sad and depressing and black pill, but to me, I have my own vision. I know how a server can thrive. I've seen examples of how other servers successfully maintain their server population, even if they make stupid, dumb decisions. I'm not going to name the servers, but you probably know what those servers are. Lots of servers have done this. I'm sure VanillaX.Online is not the first one. And also, yeah, I want to mention that there's also another Did You Know? Well, the original IP and the original name was called Vanex.Online. They had to change it to VanillaX.Online because they couldn't keep it. A really stupid decision. I'm not gonna say who did it, but it's really like you started from that IP and you drastically changed the IP. Yeah, that's not how it works. People will not associate it, at least the older generation of the original players that played on here. They will never be able to play on here again. Because if they're not on the Discord, how else will they play on it? If you're on the Discord, how will you find out about the server? Unless you're searching vanilla anarchy servers and you luckily stumble upon like 20 or so of these videos on the server, then that's the only way you can find them. And it's super, super rare. How will you find them? That's why there's no growth at all. It's virtually impossible to find the server without already being in the Discord before those videos were deleted. Can't believe I'm saying that. I still remembered it. I just searched up the Discord and then I found out the new IP and then I rejoined the server. Thankfully, some players like Axu, Isaac Ryan, Thor_, they helped me out. So this time I'm not gonna give away my items. Those first 2 times, I don't know if they knew this or not, but I sort of regret it because I had books written out, but it's okay. I completely get it. And I would not change that decision. Yeah, I had 2 scares. I thought it would actually do it, but no, it wouldn't. The server somehow miraculously survived up until a couple weeks ago. Alright, let's get back into the truth. Alright. Okay, but I just want to admit one thing, yeah? If you want to do play on the server, I don't recommend it. And I'm gonna say this. So you know about this thing called the dragon egg that you find in the end? How there's only one in the entire world? I know other servers have them gone, but for me, I would say I am the direct cause of it. Yes, the direct cause of why the egg is no longer in the server. It was burned by a mysterious player that I met in the past. I won't mention a name. I don't backbite like that unless they actually harm the community. Then it's time to talk about it. But that player decided to do it, and it's gone. Of course, it is what it is. I make mistakes like that just for priority queue, and I never got it. It's okay. Gotta move on. I eventually got priority queue on 2v2t anyways. So, yeah, I finally realized, and I sort of predicted how VanillaX.Online would ever return, but also how it would ever die permanently unless there's a drastic change on how the server is handled. Let's get into that. This is the last decision. I truly think that, even for me, I'm really surprised they did this. If you're gonna disable some features of the nether roof, such as placing, breaking, and even the only way you can escape now is with a chorus fruit. How else will you get out of the nether roof? You can't place blocks, you can't use them anymore. It sucks. So the portals were still there. I luckily got back to the last base that I contributed to. This was a year after I took a break from the server, even though 2023, that was the year of the downfall. Multiple downfalls have happened. I know that, and I've stated it before. Now this is the true final downfall. You cannot ever imagine the server coming back to 2019 levels or even surpass simply vanilla. It's not gonna happen. It's a pattern I recognized. Server doesn't improve, doesn't advertise, no trailer, no one makes videos on it. It's dead. All that's left is the Discord. What can I say about it? People talk on it, it's alright. I don't really interact on that server anymore like I used to. For a good reason. So I have it even muted in it. I marked all of them as red. I no longer care about what goes on in that server. I moved on to servers like Simply Vanilla, 2v2t. I quit 2v2t multiple times. So what? Now the server has showed me that it can improve, and with enough courage and pressure, the owner will make changes that benefit the community. So, 2v2t got a win. VanillaX.Online got a loss. I don't care. I donated to the server to see it crumble, to see the server give up, to see the player population give up and move on. No one else but me and maybe a few other players have dedicated that much money, time, and resources to help out the server. I try to give ideas, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. See that? That's from that song. Probably remember those lyrics. So last thing I did, I was planning to make a villager raid farm and a villager trading hall and make some other farms. I successfully expanded the storage, lighted up more areas. I tore down the room that my soldiers got stolen. I found dupe stashes. Yes, VanillaX.Online is probably the only vanilla anarchy server that has allowed duping. Name another vanilla server that has allowed it. I'm not talking about string or TNT or carpet or rail. No, duping items that are not included in that list, like swords, enchanted gold apples, elytras, XP bottles. They done it all, but it's no longer accessible. The portals were deleted. Most of the players destroyed their stashes, or they're just left abandoned and I'll never find them. I tried to find a player that I knew, plastic guns. I couldn't find that one, so I gave up. I tried terrain exploiting. How on earth do you even do that? I know what version. I know the seed. Seed was hidden. I couldn't do it. Even then, if I found it now, I wouldn't care. Why even be rich if you cannot even use the money that you earned? That's my philosophy here. No point of being the richest player if no one else cares about the server. If certain features like the nether roof get disabled, how on earth does Simply Vanilla have everything I want except for duping and has certain limitations? Yeah, I get it. It's a huge server, was a huge server size. Yet they allow placing blocks on that roof, they allow breaking blocks on that roof, they allow you to fly on the nether roof, just like they used to allow it on VanillaX.Online. It's like no wonder I went to that server, because I played on Uneasy Vanilla, I played on Purity Vanilla, I played on some other vanilla servers, some other anarchy servers. There's plenty of servers I played on. Simply Vanilla right now is probably the only server besides 2T. I always have to keep backup servers. I can't just let one server dominate the rest of my life. Come on, man. What do you think I'm gonna do once a server decides to become corrupted again and again and again, and I decide to do insanity tasks to ensure that it would survive, and yet it will never work because people don't try something new. They don't try learning from their mistakes, learning from the community. They don't, because of financial reasons, because of personal reasons. I don't want to diss anyone. I don't want to make fun of anyone. I don't backbite on anyone unless for a good reason. But you know who you are. You know a server can always revive itself if you make that choice and you make that step to continue its existence. Otherwise, stop hosting the server online if you're gonna disable stuff that we enjoy. We lost access to using blocks on the, it's not even that. It's not you're gonna reset the nether multiple times and you're gonna let Melon keep dictate how you run your server forever. Unbelievable. So it's not to diss anyone. I'm just saying in general, if anyone else uses this server and becomes owner or is interested, please move away from Melon Cube. Recognize the mistakes that the other owners did, that they tried to solve on their own. If you can learn from those mistakes, you can improve. You can revive the server. Look what happened to Simply Vanilla. It's a great example of how the server, look, we lost just a few of the features. Every server has limitations on blocks and items and mobs. It's okay. Truly get it. That's not the problem I have. The problem I have was the server management. So yeah, was this long video? I maybe messed up a few times when speaking, but I had to get my point out. It's there for you to understand. I was there near the beginning. I joined in late February 2019. Just before Simply Vanilla, just before Purity Vanilla and uneasy vanilla were created. And certain other vanilla servers that were created in the future after I joined that server. So VanillaX is not the oldest vanilla anarchy server. It's not. I give that credit to an unknown server. I'm not gonna say simp PvP. That's really not the oldest one, or it might be. I don't know. So there it is. The last decision. They would basically stay with Melon Cube. Do not allow players to place blocks under the roof or break them. How are you gonna travel if there's no highways? You want to travel over an open nether? I did this on Vanilla Anarchy. What do you expect from that? That I would do that all over again? It takes a long time. It took hours to travel. Dude, I even prefer, honestly, I prefer the server called Uneasy Vanilla. They had ice highways. It was perfect. You could get to your base easily. Bring your ults. You can use a boat. Wear a gold armor. It was simple like that. Even Simply Vanilla, they didn't really have that, or it was destroyed. But you could use the nether roof to fly. That worked too. They didn't limit you on your speed. I tried it. I tested it. Everyone else did. They have the nether roof enabled, so keep it like that. And your server will continue to be stable and grow slowly. That's your goal. VanillaX.Online, thanks for being the first server that made me experience Vanilla Anarchy in general. I tried to join 2v2t before. I found out about 2v2t before the server, when it used to be called Vanex.Online. But now, it's sad, it's pathetic, and it stresses me out to even talk about it. Because I'm sorry for the owners that tried to make the server work. It didn't work. Let this be useful information for future Vanilla Anarchy server owners, or just Anarchy server owners. Make sure your storage is good. Make sure your financial methods of getting money to run the server is good. If you're all set for that, the last thing you need to do is advertise and keep the player population stable for a good time, a good long time actually, or you can just make it grow, whether slow or fast, doesn't matter. Alright guys, this is the conclusion of how VanillaX.Online has died. I stated the truth. Some of it might be a little exaggerated, but I made sure to research about it. You can call me wrong, but you can ask certain other people in the server, Discord server, about all this information that I provided. Now, because the video is too long, I don't feel like putting subtitles, so you're just gonna have to listen carefully. Speak good English, you should be able to understand the video. I don't speak too quick. So anyways guys, VanillaX.Online, it died. It died since 2021, 2022. Few players stuck around, and then once the nether roof got reset again, and there was no one maintaining the highways, no one's gonna play on that server. And this pissed off me and a few others. Even the ones that helped me, like Thor_ and Axu, they moved on. I don't know what they're doing now, but for me, I had to make that last video on this server just to tour the base, because at least I had that base. I lost my bases, I made many mistakes, but I had the happy ending. It didn't get griefed. Again, I restored it. And guess what happened? Man, I'm glad I got that experience. It will never be a server like this again. Good day. I'm logging off into the next video. Let's keep on growing. Peace. Thank you for listening to this long audio. And that's it. And see you in the next video. Bye.